Hi guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. Today I'm going to share with you a book haul, and it's a rather large one. At the beginning of the month, I had pretty much determined that I was not going to be doing any more thrifting of books for the next couple of months because I have just been bringing so many books into my house, and then I did anyway. So here are all of the books that I've bought this month so far, and after this, hopefully I will be able to put a halt to all of the book buying I've been doing. So I purchased books from a few different places this month, and I actually purchased some new books this month as well. So I figured I'd start with the new books that I purchased, and then I'll get into the thrifted books that I found this month. So the first book purchase I made was actually a book outlet order, and I don't do book outlet orders very often, but this month I decided to go ahead and do one because I read Hum If You Don't Know the Words by Bianca Marais, and I had to own this book. And so I looked on book outlet and it was like $6, not even probably. And so I went ahead and I bought it because I really wanted to be able to highlight and tab what I had read in this book. So I went ahead and got that, and then because I was putting in an order, I figured I might as well put in enough of an order to get free shipping. So not only did I get that, but I also went ahead and picked up Mr. Popper's Penguins. This is one that I read as a child and I would love to read out loud to my kids, and it was literally like $2. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and it's just about a guy, Mr. Popper, who as a house painter ends up with a bunch of penguins, and I don't even remember why, but he ends up taking care of all these penguins. So it's really funny, and I thought that this would be a fun one, like I said, to read out loud to my kids. And then the last book that was part of my book outlet order, I went ahead and purchased Until Tomorrow, Mr. Marsworth. Now, this is on Amazon for fairly cheap for the paperback edition, but I do not like the cover of the paperback edition at all. Like, not even a little bit. So I really wanted to own the hard copy, and this, once again, it was like $5 or $6 on book outlet, and so I went ahead and grabbed that. And I'm really excited to own this, and this one, as well as another one I'm about to show you, are getting lent out to a friend here soon. So I'm excited to have my hands on that. So I got those ones from book outlet, and then I went ahead and I was looking. I have Between Shades of Grey and Salt to the Sea, both by Ruta Sepetys, but I did not own Out of the Easy. So I went ahead and grabbed that on Amazon. And the reason I went ahead and picked this up was because it was fairly cheap. It was like $6, $7 maybe, and then there was an additional coupon. I don't even know how they do that, but whatever. There was a coupon that could be added to it, so it ended up being less than $5 for the paperback. And so I went ahead and just grabbed this because it's one that I know I want to own eventually. I have not read it yet. It is, I think, set in New Orleans, and I don't even remember. I know it's historical, but I'm not really sure much else about it. I am going to be reading this. This is on my summer TBR, so I'm planning on reading this during the month of August. But yeah, so I went ahead and grabbed that because I could get it for cheap. And then the last one that I ended up picking up is Sweep, A Story of a Girl and Her Monster by Jonathan Auxier. And this one, so Amazon Prime Day happened, and when that happened, I grabbed, I ordered a bunch of stuff, and then the following day, I got a notification saying that I had a $10 coupon that I could use, and I have no idea how I got it or why, but I went on and I was just looking for something to use it on, and I pulled this up and it was $12, and then I got $10 off. So with tax, I got it for less than $3 for the hardback. So yeah, I ordered it because this is one, once again, that I really wanted to own. It is the story of a girl who is a chimney sweep in Victorian London, and just her experiences. It has a little bit of magic in it because she has a best friend who is a golem, and yeah, it's a very sweet book. I love it, and I'm really glad that I was able to find it for so cheap. Yeah, to own. So got that. And then I went to Goodwill. Randomly on a Saturday, I just was like, I'm just going to drop in and see what they have. I don't really have a lot of time to spend here. I'm just going to kind of poke around. And I found a handful of books, and then I got to the cash register and they were all half off. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 books for $6. And some of these are good. So first, the adult books that I got, I found Unbroken, which I read this earlier this year and loved. And so I was able to find this, and it's in decent shape. I mean, it's not in perfect shape, but it's in decent shape, and I'm really excited to have this. So yeah, I got that, and that is the story of Louis Zamperini. He was an Olympic track athlete in the 30s, and then he was a bombardier in World War II. His plane was shot down. He survived in the Pacific Ocean on a raft for 42 days or something like that, and then he was a prisoner of war in Japan. And so it's just the story of his story of survival, and it's fantastic. If you haven't read it, read it. And then I also found Animal Farm. This is one that is on, or was on, my Reading Rush TBR. I'm currently in the middle of Reading Rush, so I don't know if I'm going to get to it or not, but it's one that I have not read yet, but has been on my TBR for a while. It's a fairly short book, and I'm really excited I was able to find it. And all of these adult books were 49 cents, so for 50 cents, sold. I also picked up Where We Belong by Emily Giffin. Emily Giffin is one of those authors that I read when I need something super easy and mindless to read. She's just kind of a chick lit author, and this is one that I had not read yet. So Where We Belong, and I'm not really sure what it's about, but it got pretty good reviews so on Goodreads, so I went ahead and grabbed that. So I got that one. And then I picked up To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This I did not own yet, and I also have not read this before. So this is one that I really want to get to soon. But once again, it was 50 cents, and I'm excited to finally own it. And hopefully I will be able to get to it sooner rather than later. I also picked up Innocent Traitor by Alison Weir. This is a story of Lady Jane Grey, who was the 9 Days Queen. It's historical fiction, obviously, and I used to really love reading this time period historical fiction, and I haven't read a lot of it in quite a while, but this is in like absolute brand new condition, so I grabbed it and thought that when I'm in the mood, this would be a good one to kind of wet my whistle, so to say, in that category. And then this one I thought was kind of exciting. This is Agatha Von Trapp's Memories Before and After the Sound of Music. The Sound of Music is one of my childhood absolute favorite musicals. I watched it so much growing up. I know all the songs, and this is the oldest daughter of the real Von Trapp family. This is just her memoir of Before and After the Sound of Music. So I thought this would be so much fun to read and just kind of look through the pictures and that kind of thing. So a good nonfiction book for me. All right, and then, my middle grade books that I picked up from Goodwill as well. So I don't know if this is considered adult or middle grade, but I picked up Anne of Avonlea. Tia from Tia and All the Books and I are in the beginning stages of planning something having to do with Anne of Green Gables. And so I am on a mission to find the entire Anne of Green Gables series from the thrift store. This was 23 cents. All of these kids' books were 23 cents. So it's not my favorite edition. I think the cover is horrific, but the inside of it's totally fine. So I grabbed it because something's better than nothing. I also grabbed the Penderwicks. This is a story of 4 kids, I believe, who find themselves staying on a beautiful estate during their summer holidays. I've heard really, really good things about it. It's a National Book Award winner. I have not read it yet. Once again, I thought this would be a really good read aloud for my kids. I also picked up The Tiger Rising by Kate DiCamillo. This is another National Book Award finalist, but this I've read a couple of Kate DiCamillo books now, and this is in brand new condition. It looks really fun. My kids really like wild animals and stuff, and so it says, walking through the misty Florida woods one morning, young Rob Horton discovers a large and very real tiger in a cage. On the same extraordinary day, he meets Sistine Bailey and begins to understand that some things, like memories and heartache and tigers, can't be locked up forever. So that sounded really good, and so I went ahead and grabbed that. And then I also grabbed Judy Blume's Super Fudge. My kids really love these books, and I thought that I would grab this for them. And I also grabbed this edition of The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I own a mass market paperback, it's right here, of The Secret Garden already, and I don't really like it. I think this one's much prettier and much more fun to read, just the size of it. And so it was 23 cents. Totally worth it in my opinion. And I only spent $1 on this one in a Scholastic book order, so it's fine. I'm not worried about wasting that money. So I got that. And then I stopped at, my town has like a thrift store that is there just for the town. And I grabbed a couple of books from there this weekend. So the first two I was able to find are Winona's Pony Cart and Betsy and Tacy Go Over the Big Hill. These are both by Maud Hart Lovelace, and they are part of the Betsy Tacy series. I don't know if Winona's Pony Cart is technically part of the series, but it follows characters from Deep Valley, which is where those books are set. And so I went ahead and grabbed these because I am doing the Betsy Tacy read along this year, and I don't have these ones. I have Betsy and Tacy Go Downtown that I also found at a thrift store, but I don't have those ones, so I grabbed those. I also picked up Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. This is the movie tie-in cover, which I'm not sold on necessarily, but I have never read anything Agatha Christie, and I know a lot of people really like this one, so I thought I would grab it. It was cheap. I also grabbed Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This is another one I've never read before, but has a really big following, so I thought it would be a good one. And then I also grabbed The Great Gilly Hopkins by Katherine Patterson, and this is about a foster child, I believe. It is a Newbery Honor book that I have not read yet, so yeah, that's another middle grade one that I thought would be a good addition to my collection. And then the last place I got books from was my library. So in the front of our library, there's a shelf that's like just kind of a constant book sale thing that they have, and they'll put books up there. They're typically like $1.50 or something per book, and so I think I spent maybe $4 on all of these. But the first one I grabbed is a graphic novel. It's called Princess Ugg, and the illustrations seemed pretty fun, and it's just kind of a princess, not really a princess story. I really enjoy graphic novels, and so for $1 or whatever, seemed like a good investment. So, and then I also picked up my first Elin Hilderbrand book, Beautiful Day. I've never read this author before, but I know quite a few people that really like her. And this one follows a wedding, and the nearly newlyweds are quite happy, but their loved ones' lives are crumbling. And so it's just kind of the story around their wedding and what's going on, the drama in the background. I also grabbed The Hypnotist's Love Story by Liam Moriarty. I've read a few Liam Moriarty books, but I don't have this one yet. And it is about a professional hypnotherapist who meets a guy, and then he tells her that his ex-girlfriend is stalking him. And so she thinks that that's kind of interesting. You're a guy worth stalking. But what Ellen doesn't know is that she's already met this person. And so it sounded intriguing. And then I also grabbed Home Again by Kristen Hanna. This is a Kristen Hanna that honestly I hadn't even heard of before. But it's just about Madeleine Hilliard and she's a single mom. She has a 16-year-old daughter, and her daughter wants to find her father. And so it sounds like her father reemerges and is trying to find help with all of these people that he's betrayed. And so, yeah, it just kind of, I know Kristen Hanna has some really good ones out that people have really enjoyed. I've read The Nightingale, but I haven't read anything else by her yet. So I now have a couple that I could choose from. So those are all of the books that I've picked up. There's quite a few, but I'm really happy with the ones that I was able to find. If you have heard of any of these ones that are a little bit more obscure, or if you've read any of these, I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. I really need to slow down on my book buying, and so I think it may be hopefully a couple of months before I do another haul. But yeah, that is it for today. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.